What, I'm supposed to give Bloomberg a pass? Not on this show, not with this host.
I'd like to know.
Meghan McCain and Joy Behar got into another debate on The View, this time over Michael Bloomberg. And to my shock, Meghan McCain actually won this debate. Now, I got two clips here. The first one is just sort of setting up Meghan McCain's argument, but then the second clip will be more the back and forth. But first, let me get to this clip where Meghan McCain is discussing Michael Bloomberg and his issues.
I think the idea that Mike Bloomberg is just going to sail into this and land really easily, and he's just going to be the nominee, and all of these activists on the far left. Yeah. Well, I think he and his supporters, and his supporters in the media, are acting like he's just being anointed. He's an easy billionaire, and he's going to walk right in, and it's going to be easy. And some of the stuff I saw over the weekend, and some of the comments he's made, and I don't want to get in your way, Sonny, but I believe you have a clip that I was shown that is particularly, at least problematic, I think, for most Americans. I think this is going to be a lot harder than he thinks it is.
Yeah, I know. I saw the same.
And I didn't want to. I know it's your clip.
No, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it this morning. But I was sent that clip, and it was in 2011. And Joy and I have been talking about Bloomberg a lot because I know you believe he's one of the people that can beat Trump, and
I think if we keep taking the Democrats down, Trump is going to win. So I say be careful about that, because what you've got, the Democrat is standing between Trump and fascism.
But if Democrats don't take him out, Republicans will.
Right.
I have no doubt this information, one way or another, you can't stop Oppo from coming out.
See, for me, I think that every single candidate, I think every single candidate should be vetted. Yeah. Whether or not you're a Republican or a Democrat.
All right, so the second clip will get a little more into the back and forth. But here, Meghan McCain makes some good points, and it pains me to say that, but she does. The idea, like, she's discussing how Bloomberg's supporters on television, because, you know, a lot of them in real life don't actually exist, except for the ones that are being fooled by his television ads. But the ones that are on television, the millionaires on television that are trying to kiss Bloomberg's butt, are basically acting like, oh, he'll be able to easily walk into the nomination and defeat Donald Trump. Because why? Because he's a Republican? Like, have you checked a poll recently about how people feel, how Republicans feel about Donald Trump? He has 95% of their support. And the ones that don't support him will still vote for him on election day against a Democrat. Like, this idea that Bloomberg's going to win because he'll get over Republicans. This is the same strategy that Hillary Clinton tried to use. It doesn't work. The way you actually win in 2020 is by bringing people out that don't normally vote. Young people, independents, working class voters. 40% of the country, about 40% of the country does not vote. You win by bringing those people out. And right now, the only candidate that's actually speaking to them, and the reason why he's filling up stadiums, is Bernie Sanders. He's the only one that has a message for young people, for independents, for working class voters. The reality here is Bloomberg, as she says, if Democrats don't get him, then Republicans will. And there is a ton to go after Bloomberg on. Bloomberg endorsed George W. Bush in 2004. Bloomberg has given to Republicans as late as 2018. You will suppress the Democratic base with Michael Bloomberg. Young people aren't coming out for him. Working class voters aren't coming out for him. He will suppress the base more than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. Now, let me get to the next clip here, where there's a little more of a back and forth debate.
There's this enormous cohort of Black and Latino males aged, let's say, 16 to 25 that don't have jobs, don't have any prospects, don't know how to find jobs, don't know what their skill sets are, don't know how to behave in the workplace where they have to work collaboratively and collectively.
There's a lot here. First of all, that's 2011 on PBS. That's not something he said after a few drinks, like at dinner privately.
Exactly.
That's something he said on air. So where there's smoke, there's just one second. Yeah. He also, there's a lawsuit the Washington Post dug up where he was sued for saying there was a woman who was having trouble finding a nanny for her child, and he said it's a blanking baby. It doesn't know the difference between you and anyone else. All you need is some black who doesn't even have to speak English to rescue it from a burning building.
You know, all I have to say...
But I'm just saying, you want to go up against Trump and you want to take the moral high ground, Democrats? I don't know if this guy is going to be the one.
All I have to say, there are verified people on both sides. That was in Charlottesville. Yeah. He said that removing Confederate monuments was trying to take away our culture.
You want to take the moral high ground.
Belittled the Black Lives Movement. He questioned whether Barack Obama...
I'm not defending Trump because I'm attacking Bloomberg.
What are you saying then? Who are you going to vote for?
I'm saying that you're shiny, sparkly guy who's surging right now, which, by the way, everybody surges in primary politics.
Well,
I remember when Gingrich did and Herman Cain did. Every candidate surges at one point or another.
He still thinks the Central Park 5
because he's a sparkly little... Because, you know what? I just think it's so interesting that you have a problem that we are talking about a candidate the way we would any other candidate. He just happens to be at the top getting the attention right now, which is why we're talking about it right now. What, I'm supposed to give Bloomberg a pass? Not on this show, not with this host.
I'd like to know who you're going to vote for. Who are you voting for?
Who I vote for is none of your business, but I am not voting for Trump, and I'm sure as hell not voting for Bloomberg.
So then you're not going to vote.
Okay?
So
it's
you're
none of your business.
So you're not voting for Trump, and you're not voting for a Democrat. You said that already.
You guys have done a piss poor job of convincing me that I should vote for a Democrat.
We're going to be right back.
All right. That one was a little more lively. But again, Meghan McCain here with the actual points. Now, this doesn't mean that Meghan McCain is usually correct, because she's not. But in this argument, the things that she is saying is spot on. So Bloomberg here, I mean, one of the arguments that Bloomberg supporters are trying to make, again, the Bloomberg millionaires that are on television supporting him are trying to make, is that, well, Bloomberg will be able to reach Republicans. But if Bloomberg can't even reach a wealthy Republican in Meghan McCain, then where's your argument? But and even as I said earlier, even on that argument alone is ridiculous, because you're not going to reach Republican voters. Republican voters are going to vote for Trump regardless. But even if your argument is he can reach Republicans, well, he's not. He's not reaching Republicans. So this idea that Republicans will choose Bloomberg over Trump is ridiculous when you can't even reach some of the wealthy ones on television. Now, I have to make this point because Joy Behar mentions Trump's fight against the Central Park 5, the 5 teens that were wrongly convicted back in the 90s. Michael Bloomberg also had a role in fighting them. This from CBS News. All 5 men had their convictions vacated in 2002. During the Bloomberg administration, they filed a civil rights lawsuit against New York City, alleging malicious prosecution, racial discrimination, and emotional distress. The Bloomberg administration spent nearly $6 million fighting the case over a decade, arguing that the authorities at the time had good cause and acted in good faith. Eventually, when Bloomberg was out of office 2 years later, that case was settled, and the Central Park 5 actually were able to receive some compensation because of it. But Bloomberg spent $6 million while he was the mayor fighting them. And when asked about it recently, Michael Bloomberg on Central Park 5 said, "I just don't remember." To which Ava DuVernay says, quote, "I really can't respond." Quote, "I don't remember." Quote, "Go read up on it." "Sir, this will not work in 2020. The non-answers, the evasion. No, sir. Take the next opportunity to be clear about what you knew, what you did, and what you did not do in this case." So this idea that you're going to defeat Donald Trump on the moral high ground, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. You will suppress the base. The Democratic base will not come out for Michael Bloomberg. Like, this is not about, where are Republicans going to vote or about Donald Trump getting Democrats over. No, nobody's worried about that. The worry is Michael Bloomberg would suppress the Democratic base. Young people are not going to come out for Michael Bloomberg. Working class voters are not going to come out for Michael Bloomberg. Like, it's amazing to me that Meghan McCain understands this, even though maybe she doesn't say it in those words, but she understands that if you put Bloomberg up against Trump and try to win on the moral high ground, that it's not going to happen. Because Republicans don't care about the moral high ground. They're going to come out for Trump regardless, but Democrats do care. And Democrats are not going to come out for Michael Bloomberg. And right now, Hello, there's a primary going on where you have an actual leader in Bernie Sanders with a 40-year record of fighting for the same thing, fighting for people, an authentic message. Again, people want authenticity. They want to know that what you're saying, you actually have some commitment, some fight to what you are saying, that you're not just saying it to say it. And when it comes to Bernie Sanders, because his campaign is only funded by the grassroots, what he is saying is what he actually believes and what he has said for the past 40 years. There's no hiding here. And when it comes to the moral high ground, you can actually win on the moral high ground with Bernie Sanders. So I'm just amazed. I'm amazed by how some liberals on television like Joy Behar here are just falling in to defending Michael Bloomberg already when you don't have to concede anything right now. Right now, you can actually fight for someone in the race that actually cares about you, that will actually lead you to victory, that actually brings out young people, brings out independents, brings out working class voters. There is no reason at all to defend Michael Bloomberg. So at least when it comes to this discussion, Meghan McCain won this debate, and Joy Behar needs to do a little more research on Bloomberg and understand why exactly he will lose to Donald Trump.